We'll move on to the next topic. So if you remember, in the previous video I was actually discussing about how to provide or how to install or incorporate the concept of security in the field of wireless local area networks. Okay, that was the topic of our discussion. So moving on to the next topic, that is confidentiality and integrity. So in this topic we'll try to understand how this WEP, the basic the very first protocol that was designed for the purpose of providing security in the field of wireless local area network, that is the wired equivalent privacy, WEP, wired equivalent privacy. Okay, so this protocol, how it actually failed for whatever it was designed for. Okay, how it failed for providing the desired level of security. So first here I'll be explaining you how this this WEP failed to provide the desired level of security, and then we'll be studying how 802.11i provides message confidentiality and integrity. Basically, this WEP, wired equivalent privacy protocol, this was designed for the purpose of providing the confidentiality, integrity and access control. Okay, but it unfortunately failed to provide all these three. Okay, so here will be like I'll be explaining you the how the plain text can be recovered from the message, how the plain text can be recovered, and how the messages can be modified. What are the flaws? Basically, what are the flaws of WEP? Though WEP, or whatever the steps that has been taken by WEP, how it has been flawed, or how it is weak, the steps taken for the purpose of security, in what terms it is weak. I'll be first making you guys understand how the security is being provided by WEP, and next I'll be explaining you the two types of attacks here. One is the plain text, non-plain text attack, how it happens, and how the message modification takes place. So basically we'll be trying to understand how this WEP failed. Okay, so as I specified, first I'll be explaining you the WEP encryption and integrity checking. So these things you have already, we have already discussed about it. To just brush up, so here for the purpose of providing the ciphertext. Okay, so what we'll be doing is we'll have a plain text, and this plain text will be XORed with the key stream. Okay, so what does this key stream function contains is, it contains two main parameters. One is the secret key that has been shared, the shared secret key, and this shared secret key will be known to the two communicating parties in prior, and it is 40-bit in length. Okay, and one more factor we have here is, one more parameter that we have here is initialization vector, and this initialization vector is 24-bit. Okay, so in total this key stream is of 64-bit key. Okay, so this function 64-bit key, whatever we have, this will be XORed with the plain text and will be resulting with the ciphertext. Okay, so in return to get our plain text back, so in the decryption process, the same key stream with the shared secret key and the initialization vector, so this will be XORed with the ciphertext to get back the plain text. So basically the WEP, wired equivalent privacy frame, it looks something like this. We'll have the MAC header, so the MAC computed for this, whatever we have, the initialization vector we'll have, and then the MAC followed by the initialization vector, and then the encrypted plain text, that is a cipher text, and followed by this the encrypted CRC, the CRC whatever that has been computed for this, even that has also been encrypted. So for the encryption purpose we'll be relying on RC4 or stream cipher RC4. is what we rely on for the purpose of encryption. Okay, so now once after understanding the encryption and integrity, both the confidentiality and integrity, how it has been taken care by WEP. So the confidentiality RC4 stream cipher, and the integrity is through the computation here, the CRC and the MAC header. Okay, so now let me just explain you the flaws of this WEP. So first one is the non-plain text attack. So the basic problem with WEP is the possibility of key stream reuse. Okay, so there are possibilities where we reuse this key stream rather than computing a new one. We always it's a tendency that yes, we actually rely on reusing things rather than coming up with a new one. Okay, so the same thing even here. Okay, the basic problem is say if you have planned to reuse the key stream. Okay, just the reason why the key stream should not be reused is, as you all know, as I mentioned before, this initialization vector is just 24-bit in length. Okay, so the possibility for the attacker to guess what is the initialization vector is, he has to just run the program for 2 to the power of 24. Okay, so the distinct key stream is just 2 to the power of 24, and it is not, since it is not that huge, any attacker could come out with that 2 to the power of 24 distinct key streams, and he can just try with all the key streams with the brute force attack. He might end up with the brute force attack. And say if, for example, in any two cipher texts, okay, or in any two communication, say if they have used the same initialization vector. Okay, the same initialization vector. So if the attacker managed to get the two ciphers C and C dash, say for example the two cipher text C and C dash where the same initialization vector is used, I'm just assuming things, okay, here please remember. Say suppose we have the attacker has managed to get two ciphertext C and C dash, and in both the ciphertext, in resulting both the ciphertext, say for example if the parties have used the same initialization vector. Okay, the sender has used the same initialization vector. So